Hi there, and welcome to the Still Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Fortune Paole, and if you're new here, welcome to the space that's all about progression, not perfection. The fact that we are becoming people, which means we have not arrived at who we're meant to be at, but we're just getting to our destination. And so I invite you into this space and happy Still Learning Monday. Happy Still Learning Monday, guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope your day, your week is off to a great start. I am in a really excited mood today to just really talk about today's topic. And I think this conversation today for me, I know I feel like it's going to be me seeing myself and feeling seen for a long time and just processing something that I don't think I really gave space to process before. And this actually comes from me coming off of this weekend where, guess what, guys? I hosted my first ever game night. Yes, I first yes, I hosted my first ever game night. And for me, this was like really adult of me because this was my first ever like adult event outing. And the sole purpose of me hosting this game night is that I have been introduced to people and getting to know different people these last couple months since I moved out here. And I just wanted to create and foster a space where I just got to know people a little bit better and people got to know me a little bit better. I wanted to put myself out there. And even though that can be intimidating and scary, putting yourself out there, not knowing how people are going to perceive you, and also like not knowing how it's going to go and if you're going to be able to really get along with everyone. And though the goal wasn't necessarily like finding these perfect relationships and friendships with people, I think the goal was just to be open minded and give yourself the opportunity to know people and give people the opportunity to get to know you. And so I hosted this game night and I would say that it was a success. I had a good time and honestly the conversations, the laughter that I feel like was really fostered in this environment and the ability to just get to know people in this kind of a light where it's a lot more low key, no pressure, isn't intense, and it just further opened me to people and helped me further like desire to find and cultivate community for myself, and a lot of that required intentionality. Like, I had to be intentional about putting together this event, about how I was going to host people, right? How I was going to welcome them into this space, how I wanted to make sure that they felt safe and that they felt comfortable, and that each person was, in a sense, like catered to, like ensuring that as I am a host, like I am making sure that I'm able to speak and connect with each individual who took the time to come to my event because they didn't have to. I mean, they were just as much as a stranger to me as I was to them, and so for them to even give me a chance for us to give one another a chance, I felt like that was really awesome and beautiful moment of mine, and now when I see these people again, it's like this level of familiarity, like, it's not just strangers anymore, like, we have made a memory with one another, and it was a good one, it was a happy one, and so there's this level of, like, okay, like, I wanna keep exploring this, I wanna keep getting to know you, I wanna have many more happy memories with you, and so it's been really cool kinda coming off of that high and having been able to have done that, and I'm just excited to keep on exploring the connections that I had and made in this game night this past weekend, and so for me, what that really led to me kinda unpacking about myself is that I realized it took a lot for me to actually do that. It took a lot for me to be intentional, create the space, and host this game night, and even open myself up to meeting new people and making new friends. Like, it's really like how I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. I think it's the fact that I think when I was a child, when I was younger, like it was nothing for me to put myself out there. It was nothing for me to make friends, like, it came to me with this level of naturalness and ease, like, I was just eager to meet new people and socialize with people, and I think there's a lot of different things in my childhood and my upbringing that attributed to that and just that natural ease that came with it. I mean, I did performing arts for most of my childhood and probably up honestly, all of my life. If I'm gonna be very honest, like, I've always been a creative in the creative field in some way, shape, or form, but a lot of my younger years up until like high school, I did a lot of performing arts. I did a lot of showcases, talent shows, plays. And so that's always been something where you have to put yourself out there. You have to be okay with the people maybe not receiving you the right way. And just not caring. Like there's definitely a level of confidence and just a level of like belief and self-awareness you have to have of yourself to really do those kinds of things. And I I'm so grateful for all those opportunities and moments in my life, and I think those really helped me to be so open to people because I constantly had to meet new people. I would do over the summer different community plays and community theaters where I would meet new people who I've never met before, who've come from completely different walks of life than me, and I would just have to be with these people for the next 4, 6, 12 weeks. And we were putting together a whole production, and so you get really close with people when you're doing those kinds of things, and you really have to be willing to be vulnerable because acting, theater, performing performing arts in general is a very vulnerable thing. Like you're expressing yourself and you're opening yourself up to critique and also reception and people being able to connect with you in a way that they wouldn't have been able to do before and just really see this side of yourself. It's very intimate, it's very vulnerable. And so I think at a young age, being a part of those things made it really easy for me to do that. And then I think, like, what happens to all of us is that life happens and you start having these, I don't want to say traumatic, but honestly, traumatic experiences that kind of start chipping away at that. Honestly, I will say I was very naive growing up, very naive. I don't think my naivety really went away until college, if I'm being really frank. And in a way, I think my naivety was really a blessing because I really wasn't always see the best in people. And I do still try to see the best in people, but I had no boundaries in the sense of like, I would always think the best of someone and never think that they are trying to hurt me or that they're being malicious. And I just willingly allowed certain behaviors and certain treatment that just wasn't okay, that wasn't kind to me to happen. I think other things probably contribute to that as well. Like growing up, I was bullied and I was a long time people pleaser. As we know, I'm now a reformed people pleaser. I think for a really long time in my life, I just thought about how people perceive me and how I am with people and not necessarily taking inventory of how people will treat me. And I just wanted to be liked by everyone. But also, I think everyone just wants to be liked. Like, who wants to not be liked by people? I don't think there's someone who's just like, yeah, I don't care if nobody likes me. Like, I think we all wanna be liked, and so I was just really big on just I wanna be liked by everyone, and I thought that if I'm liked by everyone, if I'm super nice, if I'm super accepting, like, it doesn't matter how they make me feel, if I'm always ensuring that they feel great and that they feel comfortable and that they feel safe and that they feel seen and they feel heard and that I'm treating them right and I'm doing everything right and that intertwines all the people pleasing, it makes it really easy to kind of make friends and be a sociable person if all you're fixated on is getting people to like you. And if all you're fixated on is pleasing people and making sure that they're happy. Of course, you're going to get people around you because you're doing everything in your power to make them happy, even if it comes at a sacrifice or expense of yourself. I think a part of that made me a really great performer. And tying back to my background in the performing arts growing up, like I was someone who knew how to perform. Like I knew how to have a really bright smile and be really peppy and be really energetic and be like a social butterfly and be someone's like really out there. And Now that those parts of myself aren't true, like, that I was performing the whole entire time, like, that is not the case at all, but it's just a lot of that time, I'm not kidding, I can go a whole day with people and at school and just socializing and being that peppy, happy friend and person, and I would come back home drained and tired and exhausted and feeling like, "Oh my gosh, I have to always be this way." There's no way that people can ever accept me in other forms or formats of myself. And feeling restricted in that sense. And I don't want to say it's a persona, but it carried on for a really long time in my life until college. And I mean, me and my family talk about this, especially my sisters and I. My family, we are not super social people. In other words, we are people who love our personal space, our personal time. Like, we love spending time with ourselves. Like, we all lived in the same house and all of us stayed in our room for hours on end and we're perfectly okay with that. And then we would have our times where we would congregate as a family and talk and chat and get that fill and but then we would go back to our own little separate corners of the house. And it wasn't because we didn't love and care about each other and didn't let spend time with each other. We just all kind of had this mutual understanding of I love my space. I love to be by myself and alone, let me just be in peace with that. And we never felt a lot of pressure to be social with each other. That maybe some other people do. Like, I think there's this level of acceptance that my family have with one another, of appreciating that this person just needs their space and their time and respecting that. And so for me, like I have that at home, but then outside of the house, I feel like I couldn't have that. I felt like I had to be really happy and peppy and social and put my energy out there in order to be liked, in order to be accepted by people. I think maybe there might also have been the whole narrative and societal cultural idea of angry black girl or a mean black girl, like especially because I'm dark skinned. So there's definitely a lot of different nuances that I think influence me feeling more of that pressure to be so out there and bubbly and so happy, so that everyone will like me and accept me. And that did play a huge role, I think, as well in just how I was making friends in my life. And not to say that I do not or did not make incredible friendships in life. I did. I made really great friends and really amazing people who are still in my life to this day. And the people who are still in my life to this day are honestly the people in my life who loved all sides of me, who understand that I like to be alone sometimes and who understand I'm not always this social happy butterfly and who really also appreciate very calm and chill fortune. I think it really is something to me. Like, I know that you really know me if you are able to really understand, like, oh, you're not this extreme extrovert like I thought you were. Like, you're very, like, more calm and quiet, and you really appreciate one on one time with people. And that really is how I am. And I do love people. I also love me. And it took me a long time to kind of reach that. And how to handle that when it comes to having friends with people. I think a lot of my friendship falling outs, and this happened in college, all throughout my 4 years of college. I realized a lot of my friendship falling out stemmed from the fact that I stopped being so naive. I stopped being this people pleaser and wanting everyone to like me and stop trying to just cater to their needs, but also be like, how are you helping me? Like, I don't really feel seen by you. I don't really feel accepted by you. I think it took me being in situations where it was like, you really don't know my heart or my character if you think I can be capable of such things, or if you think that I mean to hurt you. And literally, all I've been doing is trying to do what you want and make you happy. And I think it was when I just stopped trying to be that peppy, happy, fortune, no problems. I think in some of my friendships there was this idea that I was perfect because I never showed like the I don't wanna say the sad parts of myself, but the parts of myself that are just more quiet and more, like, calm and aren't always super happy and a bit more emotional, a bit more vulnerable, and I feel like the moment I started doing that and the moment I started, like, vocalizing those sides of myself, it was like, "You're a completely different person and you're so cold," or "You're victimizing yourself," and for me, it was like, I'm victimizing myself because I'm voicing my needs. Like for the first time, I'm starting to find my voice, and I think that kind of shattered a little that persona that I carried for so long of just try to be friends with everyone and be happy all the time and be that person and just be like, nah, like nah, like be who you are. Be who you are, be true to yourself. If you're not always in the mood for it to overly socialize and be around people and be that extrovert, you don't have to be. I'm just someone with social skills. If I'm being quite honest, I'm just someone with social skills. Like I'm a great conversationalist and I like having conversations with people. I like to yap. But for me, it's a level of comfortability. I definitely am someone who like I will yap with you for hours if I'm comfortable around you. If I'm not necessarily comfortable or meeting new people, like, I'm a lot more reserved, I'm a lot more quiet, and that's okay. I think for a long time, I thought that was a bad thing. I would walk away from conversations and be like, "Oh, they probably think I'm so mean. They probably think I'm so standoffish. They probably think I'm so judgmental. They probably think I'm this, I'm that." And it's like, I would get so in my head if I wasn't so like, "Hey, girl, I love your outfit." Like, if I was like, if I wasn't so, like, in their face, and it wasn't so, like, "Hey, I love you. Let's go talk. Let's go get coffee afterwards, girly." Like, I just felt so down on myself, and it took a long time for me to recognize and realize, "Fortune, there's nothing wrong with that." Like, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit more reserved. There's nothing wrong with taking time to warm up to people. Were you being mean? No, because honestly, guys, when in those moments, I wouldn't be mean. I'd be very kind. I'd be like, "Hi, my name is Fortune. It's very nice to meet you." That's it. Like, I wouldn't go above and beyond if I didn't feel the need to, or I felt like it was gonna be at the expense of myself, or if I was doing it because I didn't want people to think I'm this terrible, evil person. Like, genuinely, I just got to a space where I was just like, It's okay. It's okay to take that time." And I think me just becoming someone who really values one-on-one time with people and slowly building that connection, understanding that that's something that I value and that I appreciate and is very much part of who I am. And that's okay. That doesn't make you this bad person. It doesn't make you someone who's mean. And if someone perceives you as that, it took me a while before I came to understand that you can be the most perfect person in the world. You can do everything that they want and expect of you, and they can still perceive you to be a terrible person. Like, you cannot control people's perceptions of you, and you have to let go of that level of control. Show up and be authentically who you are, and the people who are meant to be in your life will really appreciate, value, and accept that. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't. And that has affected how I even pursue friendships and relationships in my life. I think just in college, I spent a lot of time, especially when say like the second semester of my sophomore year, and then the rest of my college years, a lot of time with God just helped me love myself and let go of my people pleasing habits and really work through trauma, because part of my naivety being stripped in college and going through friendship breakups in college caused me to have a aversion to friendships. It really made me scared to be in relationship with people. I didn't want to be hurt again. And I just felt like the friendships that I was having these falling outs with, like, it just felt like you never really saw me. I just didn't feel understood, and I just felt like no matter what I gave, no matter what I did, it just wasn't good enough, or it felt like a lot of times, honestly, I didn't get a genuine explanation as to why they iced me out or why they did what they did. And I didn't have a lot of honest conversations, and it just made me really adverse to it, adverse to friend groups for a really long time, guys. I'm not gonna lie, and it's still a part of me now. Is I'm working through it. It is adverse to like friend groups. Not that I don't think there are great friend groups out there. I'm sure there is incredible, solid friend groups in this world, and that is amazing, but for a while, I was just like, "Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that," and honestly, if I'm ever gonna get to know someone, it has to be, like, one-on-one, and, like, it can't have a connection or tie to anyone, like, I don't wanna be dealing with, like, mutuals or anything like that, like, I was just so adverse to that, and so then it became, like, this traumatic response to my reservation. Like, it wasn't just, like, a reservation that I had naturally, where I was just like, "Okay," where I know now I just slowly like to build and develop relationships with people, and I like to grow deeper with people one-on-one, and that takes time, and that's a great and amazing thing, and you don't always have to be this excited social butterfly to do that. You can just show up as whoever you are right now in that moment. That took time, and that's what I am at now and understanding now, but during those times it was a trauma response. It was coming from a place of, "I don't wanna be here anymore," this reservation. And I wasn't necessarily standoffish, I was still very warm, but there was definitely a wall, and it was very hard to get deeper with me and to really know much about myself. Like, I kept a lot of things surface level, and I just knew that wasn't okay. That wasn't sustainable, and I really had to work through that. I really had to work through, okay, fortune, like, what are friendships to you now? What do they mean to you now? What kind of friends do you need? And then how are you showing up as a friend to other people? And how do you want to heal that? How do you want to deal with that? And I think it just took me just again reminding myself that you have to stay open even though it can be hard, like relationships, friendships are you have to stay open. You have to allow people to surprise you and also allow people the opportunity to get to know you. You never know what kind of a friend someone can be for you if you never even give them a chance to be that friend. And it's okay to slowly, wanna observe. Of course, use wisdom and discernment. I definitely don't think the love and naivety I had in my younger years, I still carry with myself now, and it is both a sad thing and a good thing that I don't have that love and naivety anymore. I'm definitely a lot more quicker to discern if a friendship or relationship is going to be fruitful and it's going to be one where we are really compatible with one another than I was before. And I think it's because I'm finally in a position and stage in my life where I am also seeking to have good friends in my life. Like, I think before I was seeking to be a good friend to other people, not really thinking about, okay, but are they a good friend to me? And I think now I'm very much seeking to have good people in my life around me who support me, who believe in me, who just make me feel seen and cherished and cared for. And I just wanna do life with them just as much as they wanna do life with me, and it's not all about all the ways that I can show up and rally for them and be the best amazing friend to them, but also I deserve that too, and I should receive that as well, and so that has all kind of led me to this point and where I'm at now with how do I wanna make friendships now in my adulthood, and leading with a level of openness and grace, but also having wisdom and discernment and patience. Patience, because good things take time, right? 'Cause there's those people in life who you'll meet and you'll have an instant connection. I have one friend who I was connected to out here, and when we met, I don't think I expected to be so blessed by our friendship now. And it's only been like, what, 2 months of us knowing each other? But genuinely, it was, like, divine. No, not like, is divine, her connection and just our friendship with one another, and it's such an awesome thing. Like, it is just so cool, like, how easy is to be ourselves around each other and really have open and vulnerable conversations. And you have those instant connections in life, and those are awesome, those are amazing. But also take joy in the slow burns. I honestly get surprised when some people reach out to me who I met and they're like, "Hey, I want to hang out," or "Hey, like I would love to be able to just like get to know you even better." Like that makes me be like, "Wait, what? Like you want to get to know me? Like I thought you were cool, but you thought I was cool too?" Like 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 that is so exciting too. The slow burns, like the kettle relationships, like the ones that they're boiling and slowly and then they steam over and it's just an amazing, beautiful thing. It's like those friendships are like ones of cool discovery, and I think it's just appreciating those 2 and being open to the discoveries of the friendships and the connections that I can form with people. And I'm really proud of myself for that. I'm proud of myself for being we're open and being intentional about my openness while still protecting myself, right? Guard your heart. It definitely again requires wisdom and discernment. And you're not always gonna be able to account for everything, but I think when you go in with the mindset of like, okay, how can I show up as a good friend for other people? And then also what am I looking for in other friendships? It does make it a bit more easier. And I think also letting go of the idea and the concept that I need to be the bubbly, happy, peppy one all the time, that I need to be that person. I remember I had an incident at one of the previous jobs I worked at, and I came into work, and that day, guys, I was just really tired. And one thing about me is that when I am exhausted, like tired, I'm so quiet. I am even more quiet than normal. And I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just tired and I'm quiet. I'm just really inward to myself. And so you're not going to be seeing me strike up conversation. You're not going to be seeing me like walking with a pep in my step up and down the hallways. Like I'm a lot more just quiet and just trying to get what I need to get done, to be honest, so that I can go back to bed and sleep. And so I came to work that day and I was just doing my job. Like I didn't have an attitude with anyone. I wasn't upset with anyone because I really am also intentional about like not taking out what I may be going through internally on people. I'm very big on like leave what's happening out the door, because people don't deserve that. Like, people don't deserve you projecting onto them situations or circumstances and external things that have nothing to do with them, and it's something that you have to work out internally. It's not fair, and do I get it right all the time? No, I'm definitely a human being, have my mistakes and flaws and points where I may accidentally do that, but I really do try my best not to do that, and so I was really intentional about not doing that at my workplace, and I remember, like, my other colleagues, except for one who I'm still good with today. I love her. I love you. But my other colleagues, and don't get me wrong, I also very much love and care about those colleagues too. But they were upset with me. They were upset with me, and they just felt like I had an attitude the whole day. And mind you guys, and I'm being serious, like, you guys, this podcast is all about transparency and vulnerability. So if I had a stick up my butt and I had an attitude all day, I would definitely tell you guys that, you know what, I was like that. I would take accountability. I'll be honest with that. But guys, really, I was just quiet. I was just quiet and kept to myself. Like I got my work done and kept to myself. And I was like, "Why do you feel that way?" And why it felt like I had an attitude is because exactly what I said, I was really quiet, and they're like, "You are meant to be the sunshine of this place, and you are not coming with your sunshine attitude." And honestly, that made me so mad, guys. Like I can't even lie. Like that moment made me so upset because I think because that naivety at this point already had been stripped, and I just gotten to a point like I was working through my people pleasing where I was just like, why am I responsible for being your light? That's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to make you happy and boost your energy and boost up your day. Like that's not my responsibility. If that happens from just being around me, that's amazing. That's great. And of course, I want people to feel happy and feel light and feel comfortable when they're around me and in my space. I love that. I love when people feel that way around me. But it's not my responsibility to do that. Like, it's not my responsibility to be your sunshine. That's not my place. The only light of your life should be Christ. Okay? Like, I cannot be that for you 24/7. I think maybe also, the reason why I was so upset in that moment is because I was probably triggered by, like, the fact that that was the whole premise of my people-pleasing ways, which is to try to be everything that person wanted from me, even it came at an expense of myself, even if it came at feeling like I can not truly be who I am without you feeling like I am not showing up the way that you want, and so in that moment when you're telling me, "Hey, like, you just seem like you have an attitude because I'm not being your sunshine, that I'm not brightening up your day." I'm like, when was that my responsibility? Can I not just be human? Can I not just have a moment to be tired like everyone else here does? There are many other times and places where you guys have shown up tired and have been more quiet. And was I expecting you to be the sunshine? No, because you're a human being and that's normal. And we all have those moments, and it's about giving one another grace. And so for me, that was just so frustrating. But also, I think that moment was a really pivotal moment for me as well, because I think in another point in time, there would have been a Fortune who would have felt guilty and would have been like, "You're right. I'm so sorry. Like, I should have been like happy. I should have been like making sure that you feel good. I should have been more talkative. I should have been striking conversation. I should have been all those things that you wanted and expected of me." There definitely would have been a Fortune who would have been like that. And the fact that that was not my reaction, the fact that my reaction was, "Can I not just be a moment to be human? Can I not just have a moment to be myself?" Because this is also me too. Like, yes, I'm happy that you feel warmth and that you feel joy and that you feel positivity when you're around me. That's awesome. That's amazing. I love that, and I want you to continue to feel that way around me. But also, this is also me too. A Fortune who's a bit more quiet at times, a Fortune who can be more reserved, a Fortune who honestly, like, isn't upset, isn't sad, just really likes to be within herself. Like, I can't am I the only one who just likes to have moments where they're just within themselves and just able to be introspective and kinda, like, just do this, curl in like a hermit? Like, I cannot be the only person in the world. I'm definitely not the only person in the world, and so I think that moment was really pivotal because I think for the first time, not for the first time, but it's definitely one of the first times where I was putting myself first and not that you shouldn't care about other people and their feelings, but for situations like this, it's like I gotta do me, Lucius. Like it really is that. It's like I gotta do me, Lucius, and the same way that you love and care about happy, sunshiny fortune, also, I hope that you love and care and respect more quiet and or reserved fortune at times. Because that also is who I am. This is the wholeness of who I am, the fullness of who I am. Accept that. And I think I stopped waiting for people to accept that, or I stopped trying to shape shift myself for people to accept a version of myself that they liked. Because I definitely think that there were versions of myself that I just showed up as in certain relationships because I knew that was the version they liked, and any other version of myself they wouldn't be able to accept. And is that truly a friendship? Is that truly a kind of relationship that you want to be in when you feel like you can't totally be who you are? If you feel like the fullness of who you are isn't acceptable to that person, you should be able to feel safe in that. And you should be able to discern people who can and cannot do that. And it's also okay if someone cannot accept the fullness of who you are. That's just not someone who necessarily needs to be so close or be your friend in your life, or the way they're in your life just looks a bit different, and that's okay. And I think it took me a long time to learn that. I think I'm still learning that now. And so navigating that and applying that actively to my life really looks like me hosting game nights where, I was social, but I also had a lot of moments where I let other people talk and be the center of attention, be in the room, move the room, and I just got to take a step back and be an observer. Because one thing about me is that I love to observe, observe. Like, I really love to just people watch. I love to just listen to people and hear people say and hear where they're coming from. Like, I thoroughly enjoy that. Moments where I just get to take a step back and take inventory of the people around me and see them shine and show up. Like, I really do genuinely enjoy those things, and that I got to display during my game night. But also I had to show bits of myself too and be intentional of that, and like also being able to speak my thoughts and share a conversation with people, get to know people a little bit differently. And it's finding that balance, because that's all still fortune. Like the reserved, quiet, and then the bubbly and happy and the ultimate yapper, because I am a yapper. Once I'm comfortable, we are yapping. Like all of these form who I am, and they're all amazing. They're all beautiful, and they are more than worthy to be accepted and appreciated and seen and valued. But not everyone's gonna be able to do that. And the same way that I probably can't see, value, and accept the fullness of every single person I encounter is gonna be the same for me, and that's okay, but I think the beauty of all that is when you find people who do, and you're able to see that within each other, and that is just so fun and so exciting, and I think me having this game night this past weekend was just the beginnings of that. It really was just the beginnings of that, and so I really encourage you guys to do the same. To do the same. I think what I really want you guys to be able to take away from our conversation today is just show up in the fullness of who you are, and the right people will recognize that, they'll accept that, they'll see that, and they'll love that. They'll love you, they'll cherish you, and be open to showing that to people and also seeing that in other people. Put yourself in situations, circumstances, networking events, go out there, meet people. I'm going to a Friendsgiving this upcoming Friday to just do that and to keep connecting with people. Don't allow trauma, fear, or past circumstances and situations to hold you back. It's important to have wisdom and discernment when you're navigating relationships and friendships with people, but it comes with a balance. Don't have a wall, have a fence with a gate. Like, you don't have to be fully blocking yourself from experiencing such beautiful things, because you have yet to meet all the people in your life who are going to love you. I'm 22 years old, and honestly, this morning I was thinking about how, oh my gosh, God willing, if I live to my 80s, 90s, hundreds, I was like, I can't imagine how many beautiful and amazing friendships I'm going to experience in this lifetime. Like, I'm only 22, but to think 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years from now, like, to think that I'm ever going to stop meeting, encountering, and building friendships or relationship with people is kind of crazy. Like, I haven't met all the people in my life yet who I'm going to love, who are going to love me, and that I'm going to do life with. And that's such an awesome and amazing thing. And just reminding yourself of that. Remember that you haven't met every single person yet who are going to love you in all of the fullness of who you are. And just embrace that and walk that out. Walk that out, guys. And so I hope that this episode has been encouraging. I hope that you are able to walk out into these in this next season of your life, whether you're building new friendships or you're further growing in the friendships that you currently do have now. Walk in the fullness of who you are, be open to it, and love others, because there are people who are out there ready to love and receive who you are. And so I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Still Learning. Bye.